Welcome to the DBMS question session, and this is the question set 5. First, I will explain the question. The board of directors of New Vision Academy has decided to computerize the information of all the teachers in the educational institution. The software is being developed by Tharaka Software Solution, and assume that you are working as a senior software engineer in this company, and you and your team are responsible for creating the database for this software. Create the database according to the instructions given to you as follows. So they are asking us um, to create a database and for a New Vision Academy, which is an educational institute, and we are making this for keeping records of the teachers in that institution. And in the first question, they have asked to create a table called New Vision Academy. And then in the second, they have told that there had to be a table called teacher to store teachers' data. And this is the structure with the attribute names and the data types for each attribute, as well as the length specified for every for the variable char data types for each attribute. And in the third, they have asked to enter the data shown in the table below in the database table you have set up above. Do not use graphical methods when entering data here. All data must be entered from the query statement. Okay, so these are the data that we have to enter as query statements. Okay, now I will go to HeidiSQL to start this. First of all, we have to create a new database, and I will create a new database by right clicking on here and then create new database. And to create a new table inside, we'll right click on the database and create new table. And first, they have asked us to create a teachers table, and then I will add the attributes. First is the teacher reg no, and I will not allow null because this will be the primary key for the table. This variable char will have a length of 10, and I have set this to no default. And then I will add the next column. First name variable char of length 45. Now for the first attribute, I will have to set it to set it to be a primary key. So I will right click on it and create on new index, create new index and primary key. Now I'll create last name variable char of length 45, and then I create another table, another column, and which will have the gender with length 10 and the contact no with also length of 10, and then finally the email of length 50. And now I will click on save to create the table, and now it will create the table like so. And now in the third question, they had asked us to enter details for this table using queries, and uh, now let's write queries for the as they had said in the third question, to enter details into the table. And first I will write the basic format of the query, and this is how insert query will be. Insert into, then we will write the database name dot the table which is it in, which uh, we will be entering data into, and then on a bracket we will write the first column name, column 1, then the second column, the third column, like so. And then we will use values. This is used to enter data into the columns, and we will put it like so. And for the first column, let's say I'll put value 1, then for the second column value 2, and for the third column value 3. And then we will put a semicolon, and then we will click on this execute SQL command to execute this value. Now I will write the insert query for the first. Insert into my database name is Niv. We can select it from here, New Vision Academy dot teacher, and the column names or the attribute names are first will be the teacher reg no, and then the first name. Now it is very important to check the spellings of the of each column, because if the spellings are wrong, then obviously this query will not work, not execute. And next is the gender column, and then the contact no, and finally the email. So I will skip on to the next line. Even if we skip it on to the next line, this will still execute, because at the end of its query we will be putting a semicolon to define that this is this whole query is a one query. And so keeping spaces within between these statements will be okay. And now I will be putting the values, and for the first value I will be putting DC001, oops, level, gender is a male, and the contact number is 071 075 1211, and then we'll be having Kumar at gmail.com, and then finally we will be putting a semicolon like so, denoting that this whole query that we just wrote is one query. And then the spaces like this are neglected. And now to execute this query, then we will have to click this execute SQL button here. Now I'll click it on, and now we can see that in the console that it was that one row was affected. And if you go to the table this and then click on refresh and see the data had been entered into our table, teachers table, like so. Now we can also insert multiple queries at once. Okay, and I have completed all the queries, the rest of the queries, and now I can click on this execute SQL, and it will show in the logs that 7 rows are affected. So we can go back to the our table, and click on refresh, and all of the details will be shown like so. So thank you for watching.